Did two of Broadway's biggest stars secretly feud behind the curtain of one of the most beloved musicals of all time? For years, rumors swirled that Wicked co-stars Kristin Chenoweth and Idina Menzel, the original Glinda and Elphaba, were anything but friends when the spotlight dimmed. Fans whispered about jealousy, award tension, and behind-the-scenes drama that supposedly tore the magical duo apart. But after 2 decades of speculation, Kristin Chenoweth has finally spoken out, and what she revealed changes everything we thought we knew about Broadway's most famous frenemy story. Because the truth, as it turns out, is far more emotional and far more human than anyone expected. When Wicked first hit Broadway in 2003, nobody realized it was about to redefine modern musical theater. Kristin Chenoweth stepped into the role of Glinda, the picture-perfect good witch with a sparkle in her eye, while Idina Menzel became Elphaba, the misunderstood green girl who would steal every heart in the theater. Together, their chemistry was electric. Their duets sent chills down the audience's spines. And their dynamic, one radiant and bubbly, the other intense and grounded, made Wicked feel alive. But behind that harmony, fans couldn't help noticing the sharp contrast between the two women. Chenoweth was a polished soprano from Oklahoma, known for her comedic timing and southern charm. Menzel, a powerhouse vocalist from New York, brought raw emotion and grit to every performance. They were opposites, and sometimes opposites make people talk. Critics were surprisingly harsh when Wicked opened. Some reviews dismissed it as too commercial or too sentimental. Yet, night after night, audiences flooded the Gershwin Theater. They cheered, they cried, they came back again and again. The connection between these two women on stage was undeniable, and that connection is exactly what fueled the first whispers of rivalry. Because in show business, when two women shine equally bright, people start wondering who shines brighter. But that was only the beginning. By the summer of 2004, Wicked had officially taken over Broadway. Fans were obsessed. Ticket lines stretched around the block, and both leading ladies were being hailed as legends in the making. Then came the moment that would ignite years of speculation, the Tony Awards. Both Kristin Chenoweth and Idina Menzel were nominated for Best Leading Actress in a Musical. Two co-stars, same category, one trophy. It was the perfect setup for tabloids to spin a story. When Idina's name was called and Kristin's wasn't, the cameras caught a flash of emotion, and that was all the internet needed. Suddenly, headlines screamed of jealousy and tension behind the scenes. Fans claimed the two hadn't spoken after the ceremony. Others insisted Kristin was secretly furious that her co-star won. But what most people didn't know was that Kristin's mind wasn't even on the awards that night. While gossip columns ran wild, she was quietly dealing with something far more personal, something that would change the entire way she looked at that moment. And that's where the real story begins. What the public saw as a bitter loss at the Tony Awards was, in reality, just the tip of the iceberg. Kristin Chenoweth was carrying a heavy personal burden. Her mother was battling cancer during the peak of Wicked's Broadway run. The bright lights and standing ovations couldn't erase the worry, fear, and heartache she felt every day. In an interview, Kristin revealed how emotional she truly was at the time. She confessed that she often found herself distracted, her thoughts pulled away from the stage and the glitz of awards. It wasn't pride or jealousy or rivalry. It was life hitting her hard. After a certain amount of time after we opened, my mom was dealing with cancer. I was emotional and I was thinking about some other things, she said. It's easy to see how audiences and critics misinterpreted her intensity or occasional distance. Meanwhile, Idina Menzel was navigating her own pressures, balancing the weight of Elphaba's demanding role with constant public scrutiny. Two women, performing at the top of their craft, exhausted and under a microscope, and suddenly, rumors of a feud seemed plausible. But the truth was far simpler. Two friends trying to survive Broadway while life threw them curveballs. And behind the scenes, Idina was already proving she was more than just a co-star. She was a sister in every sense. And what Idina did next would completely change the narrative. While fans and media fueled the rumor mill, Idina Menzel was quietly setting the record straight. She noticed how quickly people were trying to pit the two women against each other, turning what was actually a supportive partnership into an imagined rivalry. Unfortunately, people like to do that to women, she said. They can't be supportive of one another. You have to put all this conflict in there. We were tired and extremely supportive of one another. Idina's words revealed a truth that social media had ignored for years. The supposed feud wasn't real. They were simply two talented women navigating the pressures of a blockbuster Broadway show, each committed to giving their best while being human enough to have emotions, fears, and moments of vulnerability. The media thrived on drama, but the bond between Glinda and Elphaba was deeper than anyone realized. They were sisters in all but blood, holding each other up when the spotlight felt too heavy. It was a friendship that survived scrutiny, exhaustion, and even the rumor-driven chaos of early 2000s Broadway gossip. And yet, even with this clarification, the world still waited for Kristin to speak her truth, to finally tell her side of the story in full. Years of whispers and speculation finally met a clear answer when Kristin Chenoweth chose to speak openly. In interviews from 2023 and 2024, she didn't just deny the feud, she revealed the depth of her relationship with Idina. We would die for each other. So it's like sisters. Are sisters always perfect? So it's family. That's the best way I can describe it, she said, putting to rest decades of online rumors. Kristin explained that their differences in approach and personality had likely fueled misunderstanding. She was methodical, precise, and intensely emotional. Idina brought raw energy and fearless vulnerability. Fans saw contrast and assumed conflict. But behind the curtain, respect and loyalty ruled. She also reflected on how, despite the pressures of fame, their bond had only strengthened. Their friendship was forged in the high stakes of Broadway, where every note, every scene, and every review mattered. And yet, they protected each other from the worst of the industry's scrutiny. When the Wicked movie came around, fans wondered if the original Glinda and Elphaba would reunite. Kristin's answer revealed that their connection endured, even if they were ready to pass the torch to the next generation. In 2024, Wicked made its big screen debut with Ariana Grande as Glinda and Cynthia Erivo as Elphaba. Fans were ecstatic to see Kristin Chenoweth and Idina Menzel make surprise cameos, a heartfelt nod to the original Broadway legends. But when it comes to the upcoming 2025 sequel, Wicked, for good, Kristin confirmed they won't be returning. I don't think it hurts to say no, I'm not, she explained. We kinda did our thing and passed the broom and wand, so to speak. But I can't wait to see it. I kind of know a lot about it from my girl Grande, so I just can't wait. It was a symbolic moment, the original stars stepping back, giving space for new talent to shine, while still leaving their mark on the franchise. Their legacy wasn't just the roles they played, it was the mentorship, the inspiration, and the unshakable bond they carried with them. Even in passing the torch, the message was clear. Their story wasn't about rivalry or drama. It was about loyalty, respect, and a shared love for the music that brought them together in the first place. And this leads us to the bigger picture, the enduring legacy of Wicked itself. Since its Broadway debut in 2003, Wicked has become a cultural phenomenon, now the fourth longest-running musical in history. By 2025, It has staged over 8,500 performances, captivating generations of theatergoers. Yet for Kristin Chenoweth, the true success wasn't measured in numbers or reviews. It was in the audience's reaction. "I wanted the good reviews for our show, but I knew it wasn't going to matter because I heard the audience," she reflected. Opening nights could bring harsh critics, but when the audience cheered, laughed, and cried along with Glinda and Elphaba, she knew they had succeeded. And it wasn't just the applause. It was the lifelong bond with Idina Menzel, a friendship forged in fire, rumor, and unwavering mutual support. Despite what the world speculated, they proved that even in a high-stakes, high-pressure environment, women could uplift each other instead of being pitted against one another. Their story mirrors Wicked's central theme, the power of friendship and the profound impact one person can have on another. For Kristin and Idina, the magic wasn't just on stage. It was in how they stayed loyal, compassionate, and resilient through every twist and turn. But what's the ultimate takeaway from this legendary Broadway saga? That even amidst fame, gossip, and relentless scrutiny, genuine connection can outshine any rumor. After decades of speculation, it's clear. The supposed feud between Kristin Chenoweth and Idina Menzel was never real. What the world saw as tension was actually two women navigating fame, heartbreak, and the intense pressure of Broadway together. They weren't enemies. They were sisters, partners, and collaborators whose bond only grew stronger over time. From Tony Awards drama to surprise movie cameos, their story proves that loyalty, empathy, and understanding can endure even under the harshest spotlight. The rumors may have captured attention, but the truth, their unwavering support for each other, is far more inspiring. In the end, maybe the real magic of Wicked wasn't in the flying, the spells, or the songs. Maybe it was in the friendship, resilience, and respect that Kristin and Idina shared, proving that some stories are meant to last for good. What do you think? Was there ever a feud, or has the truth always been clearer than the rumors?